Hello, and welcome to the Backyard Basketball Podcast, presented by the Ordinary Podcasting Network. I am a familiar voice, but also the new host, I guess we'll say, for this upcoming season of the Backyard Basketball Podcast, Christian Steck. And of course, it doesn't really matter because every week you're getting two of us speaking into this mic. We've got Braden Dollar-Coleman. How you doing, Bray?
Really good. Glad that we've got a backyard basketball podcast coming out again.
We're back doing this, and you know what? This season, man, we ain't skipping a week unless for some crazy unforeseen circumstances. And if that's the case, it's definitely not 2 weeks in a row. I wanted to get your thoughts. We had a fun, unique experience. You know, Braden and I being based here in Edmonton, Alberta, is the Toronto Raptors came to Edmonton for a preseason game, and we got to see them compete. This was one of the very first games, or this might have been the first game for the Toronto Raptors for a preseason game.
I'm not sure. First preseason game, yeah.
First preseason game of the year against the Utah Jazz. So I just wanted to get your thoughts and kind of share some of the experiences that we had at that game.
I loved that they did this. I love that the NBA, you know, the Raptors specifically try to make an effort to be more accessible throughout the country. I think the dominance that they had in the 2019 championship was you know, propelled a lot of basketball fans, and this isn't the first time that they've had a game in Edmonton, or let alone, you know, Vancouver or Montreal. But I think just the hype around it was all that more significant this year than maybe in previous years. It was great. It was great to see the very first preseason game absolutely packed, and I'm sure it felt, you know, on the bench, the atmosphere for the players, I'm sure, was very exciting. Having just spent a summer off and just getting into workouts, and now you've got your first preseason game. These are cheap seats kind of games, but it was packed. It was electric. It felt like a playoff game, which was so strange because most of the guys that you're watching play, you're like, who the fuck is that? And half the guys that played in that, you know, game aren't with those teams anymore. So regardless, though, the event itself was really well run. It was great to see that much support in my hometown. I'd love to have an NBA team here. I don't think we have the infrastructure to maintain an actual team within the league, but just to show that kind of support for the Raptors was awesome.
It was pretty incredible to see that all of Rogers Place was completely full for that, just a preseason game against the Utah Jazz, out of all teams too, right?
Yeah.
Like that's you know, we got a lot of basketball fans out here, which is awesome to see.
They should consider doing more than just the preseason. I think like they definitely have the fan base across the country, and even early days. Like they do like a Europe or a Mexico game once in a while. Like,
yep,
doesn't hurt.
Not at all.
The game in Vancouver.
Or, you know, they've like flirted with the idea of doing these like mid-season tournaments. It'd be kind of cool, like for those type of formats, middle of the season, that you could showcase some of this talent in places. Yeah, if you wanted to go to Mexico City or other places in Canada. I mean, heck, you know, if there was two teams left, you could fly them out. Maybe they do a game in London or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like what the football
London, NFL Ontario.
Yeah, exactly. London, Ontario. Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I want before we move on to the over-unders, the one last thing I wanted to point out too, you know what really surprised me the most about being at that game, because this was the first time I got to experience this, was seeing how big Scotty Barnes actually is.
He's a big guy.
He is
They're all really big, though.
Man. Well, they are. Like, you know, I mean, the whole team. And once we get to over-under on the Raptors, I'll have to get a bit more in depth on that. But, like, just to look at the vast size and strength of this guy, only in his second year, the size of his shoulders, makes me think a little bit about Giannis, man. I'm just saying.
Okay. He's his own thing.
Well, he is. But just that physical dominance, you know, he is Scotty Barnes. Okay. So now over-unders. My thoughts are we go east or west. I'll let you decide where you want to go first, and we'll attack each division. The East? Okay.
Yeah,
right, so So we're going to start with the East. And you know what? Screw it. Let's just get into the thick of this. This is kind of where the heart of what we do, where we're at. I kind of think this particular year, this is one of the most loaded divisions, the Atlantic Division in the Eastern. So we've got 5 teams: the Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, the Toronto Raptors, the Boston Celtics, and the Brooklyn Nets, all in this division. Like, my gut right off the bat is telling me that like 4 out of these 5 teams are more than likely going to be in the playoffs. Not even just the play-ins, could actually just potentially be in the playoffs in those top 6 spots. Yeah. Crazy division. So first off, this is great. We'll start with a banger. So, the other thing I'll say, when we do these over-unders, I'll tell you the over-under. You tell me over or under. I'll write it down as a note. The ones that we'll kind of keep track of throughout the season are your locks. Your quote-unquote, I feel 100% confident.
Right.
This is the one I'm going to nail.
How did I do last year? Do we have those results?
I threw out actually the paper, but I do remember when the playoffs started, I did take a look at them, and I don't remember what the number was, but you definitely did beat me. So our first year doing this,
what do I win?
You were, bragging rights all season long. You can tell me, how much I got my butt whipped.
I'm pretty sure you had Milwaukee repeating.
I did, yeah. Who did you have? Didn't you have Milwaukee winning the finals?
I know I had the Warriors in the finals, but not to win it. I think, I'm not sure who I had. Maybe it was Milwaukee, Golden State. And I thought Phoenix was going to be better too. Okay, let's get on with this shit. Okay, so, if you just feel confident for a lock, doesn't have to be a specific number. Just tell me to lock it. Okay, so first off, the Philadelphia 76ers, okay? Okay.
So the Philadelphia 76ers over-under this year is 50.5.
Ooh, they had 51 last year. Okay.
Last season they won 51. So one less. And the question I have for you...
Over. No, over. Come on. We got so many teams. Over.
I know, but I want to ask you a question for each of these teams specifically. Okay, so you're going to pick over. My question to you is, do you think the Philadelphia 76ers, out of all the teams in the NBA, the first team we're talking about in the over-under of the draft, or of this thing that we're doing, is the team that's going to win it all this year?
No.
In the finals?
No.
So with this rejuvenated James Harden, looks fit as he's ever been. Joel Embiid coming off a season where he almost won MVP, and some people argue that was snatched away from him.
It wasn't, though. Come on, stop it.
I'm just saying.
I don't buy into this. He did not win the MVP last year. He will win. He has a very good chance of winning it this year, but I don't think that they win the whole thing this year.
You don't think you want to know something? I think the Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow.
I'm going to say it. It's going to win the NBA Finals this upcoming season. I'm saying it right now.
Is that a lock? Are you locking that?
It is a lock. You
have to. I think you have to.
It is a lock. I'm picking the over. I'm picking the over on these Sixers.
Such a bold statement. All right.
And I just think, I was telling you about this the other day. I heard this really cool story. Pau Gasol was on this pod recently talking, and he made a comment about Kobe Bryant. And he said those years that Russell Westbrook and James Harden went for their MVP runs and they won, they both fully kind of encapsulated the Kobe Bryant mentality. Kobe was working really close with those guys at that time. And it's those little things. Remember we used to hear about Kobe all the time, getting up at 5:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning every single day, working out, like just that hardcore ethic, the discipline. And we know, James Harden, I think probably emotionally, this is me projecting a bit, but just from some of the tumultuous challenges towards the end there at Houston and now working with Chris Paul, then going to Brooklyn, seeing the scenarios with Brooklyn, all this movement happening in a short period of time, him not being quite healthy, people talking about him being a little bit overweight, him going to the bar at night, all these kind of things, not having that necessarily discipline and focus like he did when he was with Kobe Bryant that one particular year and won MVP. for how much the scoring he was producing and things of that nature. I'm just saying, I got this feeling in my gut. He's had enough breadth and time to really focus and prepare himself, like thinking of what Kobe Bryant has done in the past, to give himself the best chance for success. And I don't believe in the odds where you can go to the playoffs this many times in your career as a player and stink every single darn time when the moment really matters. So I think that's got to break at some point. And I'm throwing my eggs in this basket. This is the year they're going to do it.
Cool, dude.
So Philadelphia 76ers. So next up, the New York Knickerbockers. They, had an interesting signing of Jalen Brunson this offseason from Dallas. Wow. Their over-under this year is 38.5. Last year, they won 37 games. So
yeah, I say under, and it's not because of Jalen Brunson, but that is not a flashy sign for $100 million. Maybe he'll make their depth a little bit better. But all in all, this team has a ways to go yet. They've got some young stars, but I think they're ready to package those young stars for something. No, under.
You're picking under on the Knicks. The one question, I thought about, I'm also picking the under on the Knicks. I don't know. I don't think Jalen Brunson alone is going to get them over that hump where they're going to be more of a successful team. And honestly, I just don't kind of really believe in Tom Thibodeau anymore as a coach in this new way that the game's played. But the one question that I was thinking about with the New York Knicks, do you think this season, with the addition of Jalen Brunson and that maybe level of consistency one might expect at point guard position, that this gives the opportunity this year for RJ Barrett to be the best that he can possibly be? Not necessarily saying that he has in these last couple of years, but last season was a down season for him. And in his same draft class, we think about the likes of Zion and John Morant. I mean, obviously with some of the challenges Zion's had recently, but I mean, over, these last couple of years in his career, but recently he's looked pretty good. But both those players, have really elevated themselves to that next stage. I don't necessarily think RJ Barrett has kind of done that yet. And do you think Brunson may help him this year get to that place?
I want to see that. I definitely cheer for the Canadian content, but I don't think Jalen Brunson's going to have anything to do with that. No. And I don't think that they're going to win a lot of games. I do want to see RJ do well, and I want to see him live up to the name and to the hype. And there's lots of expectations, but the pressure cooker is way too hot and way too high in New York.
They're crazy over there. I don't understand it. That's just nuts. So we both say under on that. Okay, the Toronto Raptors. Mm-hmm. We're back here. All right. Yeah, so what we've seen from the preseason, 45.5 is a projection. All right. Last year they won 48 games.
Yeah, I think
only expecting.
I think they are gonna. I mean, I'm playing optimistically, but I do think they're gonna have over, because if they don't, they won't make the playoffs. I think 45 is around that mark for the play-ins that teams have to kind of meet.
This is an outrageous question I'm going to ask you, but do you think the Toronto Raptors have what it takes this year? I mean, some things might have to roll their way. No, to win the division.
Oh, no, not with Boston and Philly. And if Brooklyn can put their pieces together, I think Toronto's going to be very competitive. I do. I don't think that they're going to win the division. I think they're going to be very competitive. I think Scottie Barnes is going to take another leap forward, sophomore of the year. I think that they've got a lot of growing still to do, and the competition is there, but no, not to be a dominant force in the Atlantic.
So you're picking.
They're going to have some nights where you're like, that did not look good.
Now, what do those nights look like? Is it that they're not scoring consistently enough?
It'll be scoring. I don't think they'll have any issue on the defensive side, even in games where they're being blown out. I think their defense will always be there. Maybe not always, but I think that's their game. And you saw it last year. There's nights where if they're just not hitting their shots, no chance in hell they can they can, actually win. And they don't have that kind of depth shooting. It's not really there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. How do you work on to improve that, for the Raptors?
Practice shooting. Our best 3-pointers are on the starting roster. So when you look down the bench, it's like, who do you have? Well, Fred's sitting, you got Pascal sitting, and Trent Jr. sitting. Maybe Bo Cruz. Juancho Hernangomez, but again, that's a lot of risk put into a new guy to put up points like that. I know. I think they're gonna have some nights where it doesn't click, and they exceeded all expectations last year. I think from what we saw, and so I think the sky's the limit still for this team. But I don't think that we should be setting unrealistic expectations for this team that's still growing after what was an exciting 2019.
So you think they can win at least 46 games this upcoming year?
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite addition to, I just love seeing him in that preseason game, and I'm just a big fan of this guy, Christian Kolokol.
Yeah, our first round pick. Yeah.
He looks so good.
Well, he's got a 7'6" wingspan or something. Cameroonian. You got the Cameroonian connection. I think he's going to be good. But again, there's going to be nights where you're like, oh, the rookie fucked up, or it's just not going to. Their youth is going to show some nights, and that's why I don't think that they can compete for the top seed in the Atlantic, but definitely over 45 games.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm going to pick over. You know what? This is another lock I'm going to make.
Oh, wow.
I'm
not that confident
on the Raps over. I don't know.
I spoke highly of it, but I'm not that confident.
Well, hey, put your money where your mouth is.
Oh, I will. Just wait till we get the Lakers and whatever the under is on that.
Okay. So this one, I don't. Oh, this has been
Boston.
Me.
Let's go.
It's been bugging me for a long time, dude. Okay, so Boston Celtics over under this year is a whopping 53.5.
Oh my God.
For whatever reason, Vegas still considers this team to be the title favorite after everything that's gone through this last month in the scandal involving Ime Udoka, and having to leave the team for a season, having a new coach assistant off the bench. I don't have any understanding or perspective of. And you also have Robert Williams that's going to be out till probably All-Star break. You've got surgery done on his knee. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Last year they won 51 games. They had a terrible first half of the season. Then at All-Star break, they just turned it around and they went on a 26-5 run or something like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously went all the way to the finals and was 2 games short of winning it all. I feel so conflicted. I want to hear your perspective first. What do you think of this team? Do you think this team, after everything that they've been through, all this drama, and where the team is, situated as of now in terms of the personnel and their capabilities, and how, I feel is more competitive. The East is pretty competitive. I feel like even gotten more so competitive. Do they stand a heck of a chance?
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there. Definitely an unfortunate circumstance that they find themselves in just as an organization. I was surprised to see the assistant stepped in instead of just, what's his name? Their former coach, GM. Why doesn't he just step up and just run the goddamn team like he did before? He's got all the pieces. He put them all there. It's his system to begin with, even though Ime Udoka's got it going on. I think the thing that will help them on a kind of what's the word? I don't want to say spiritual, but a positive energy vibe come together is the Bill Russell, the loss in the whole league, but the franchise and the storied thing. And, his number 6 is everywhere this season, which is really great.
Nobody's been talking about this, man. Go on.
Well, I hope that that has some sort of impact on the organization. It certainly will for the fans. And with everything that's gone on, losing their coach, like that team is really going to have to rally together to do something. And like you said, coming 2 games shy of glory, like these guys want it bad. And the great narrative last year with Boston was they held it together. There were so many signs that, yeah, no, they got to split this trio up. It's not working. They're not getting along. They can't play together. And then they got 2 games away from the final game. Like, unfortunately, I think this is an under. Like, I do think they have a great chance of going deep again in the playoffs. They're built that way and they've had the success that way. But the number was 53.5. Last year, only 2 teams had more than 53.5. Another 2 had 53 even. But I'm unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to have that same kind of streakiness that they did last year to push the momentum past 53. But I wouldn't be surprised if they hit 50. Like this team's going to be good still, with or without a coach.
I love the sentiment, you were referring to about Bill Russell, and I get what you're talking about, trying to find that like galvanizing thing.
That's right.
That unites everybody, and you're right. I mean, you can't say enough about what kind of an impact that man had, not only on the game of basketball, but on the society of life as a whole. And I really do hope, I mean, it's beautiful to see that on the court all year this year. You're going to have the number 6 on both halves. So it's going to be a constant presence. And the first game of the season, it makes me think too, I wonder at home if they do anything in celebration of him or if they have a certain set date. But I hope there is something at least throughout the season in regards to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There will, for sure. Without a doubt.
But I agree with you in pretty much a lot that you said. And I'm also kind of sticking with the under. I think it's going to be very difficult. I think the East is more competitive. I think there's also an understanding and expectation of what Boston does successfully. And so they'll go at that as well too throughout the season. Which might be a bit difficult to contend with at times. I like the Malcolm Brogdon edition, though. That's probably like something else that I feel really positive about. I think he's going to be really good for the team. The Brooklyn Nets. Here we go. I don't
have much
to say. The big old roller coaster. The Brooklyn fucking Nets. Okay, so they are 50.5 is their projected. They won 44 games last year.
My God. What's the number? 54?
50.5.
50.5?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a pretty good mark. I honestly think like this, you're right. It's such a roller coaster. This team is so unpredictable. It's so skewed by inconsistency and drama that is so unnecessary for the team that's been built. Like honestly, if these chess pieces all came together, this could be a very, very good team. And they just keep running into problems. Somebody doesn't want to get vaccinated. Somebody thinks the Earth's flat. Like there's just too many issues here. A guy doesn't want to play because he's got a sore back. Like it's just like fucking get out there, play your game that you're being paid millions of dollars to play. It's like I really love that Steve Nash is there, and I want him to be able to make this thing work. And if they fall short of any capacity of the season, even if they go on a slide, Nash will be gone.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I
I want to say over because I have faith in Nash, and I want to see that. I want to see this thing through. I love KD. I want KD to be successful.
Okay, I have a question for you. How far do you think Brooklyn Nets are going to make it in the playoffs?
Third round. I think they'll go to the conference finals.
Okay. I don't want to know yet who you got that team that they're going against, but that's crazy, man. That is a lot of
the Pistons
and the Brooklyn Nets. I wish, man. I freaking love that team. But okay, man, this is a hard one. Like I don't feel you're gonna get as much drama as we've seen in the past. Like you're not going to get the drama from Ben Simmons, but is his output and his ability going to be quite there from what we used to see? Maybe not as much. I don't know. And then the Kyrie thing is just such a random thing. And then I mean it's all dependent on injury too, because like I mean it's nice. The one plus side I guess I would say in all this too is you're going to get Harris back, which is huge.
Yep.
So you've got a decent supporting cast. I don't know. I mean, I only want them to be successful for Steve Nash, really, at the end of the day.
Sure.
I will, I'm going to be different. I'm going to pick under just for the hell of it. I'm going to say they just get under 50, like 49 wins.
Yeah.
But I don't feel good about that at all. Okay, so we're done. Boom. Atlantic Division, get out of here. I'm going to start flying through these. Okay, next up, the Central Division. So the first on the Central Division, which this is an interesting team we can talk about. The Chicago Bulls. Over-under is 41.5.
Oh, generous.
Last year, they won 46 games. So they're giving them, a little bit of a leash. I don't know if that's because of the Lonzo thing that it's set down. I don't know if you heard that, but like even when like Lonzo talked to people saying he wasn't good, apparently he had a hard time going up and down the stairs. And this was
he shouldn't be walking.
3 weeks out of the start of the season.
I think that this division got more competitive. I think that was a bit of an exciting first half for the Chicago Bulls. DeMar is still DeMar. LaVine, I think, is in another contract year. How many years did he sign this last offseason?
I want to say he has 2 more.
2, but maybe some opt-outs. So again, like LaVine is kind of the odd man out here if this doesn't work, and we'll be looking for another place. I think they go under, actually. I just think that the competition in this division got way more intense than maybe Chicago can handle.
I agree with you on that. And the other thing that I'm really considering too is I'm thinking about those teams. This is something we're going to start talking about a bit more as we talk about some of these other teams in the league, is the race to the bottom. For who hasn't seen it yet, please go on YouTube right now and Google search Victor Wembanyama. You can literally just type in Wemby, Wemby, and I'm sure you're going to get like links pop up on YouTube for
Wemby?
Clips. That's his nickname, Wemby. On YouTube of this guy, he is 7'4", I believe, without shoes on. This guy is the next like Kareem, but better. Some people are projecting that he has a higher draft allocation coming out of high school than LeBron James. So that's saying something.
Pretty special.
And I think that the Chicago Bulls team, they're going to give it an honest shot. On the upside is you've got another year under your belt for Patrick Williams, who might be an impact player this year. Caruso's coming back. He was injured much last season. You'll have a healthy Vucevic, and then company, right? And if they can galvanize, this was a fun team to watch for the first half of last year. But if it all starts to crumble at the start of the season, I could see this being a team by trade deadline having a complete fire sale and just like plummeting to see if they can get themselves a shot, a 14% chance. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick under 2. Because I agree with you too. I think this division has gotten like really, really competitive. And I think some people are like kind of undermining some of these teams that might not be ready yet to take that next leap. Next up, Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers, winner-loss total. This is not going to be one of those teams. I don't think this team is going to be very good. 23.5 is what they're projected. And last season, this team won 25 games.
Yeah, I think they're over. I only do because this is the first time that they've got that young core from the beginning. They had some shakeups last year. Tyrese Halliburton now with the Pacers. I'm quite fond of this team right now and what they're building. I think Benedict Matherin's going to be a very, very good option for them on the wing. Over 25, but that's, what was it? Over 23.
23.5, and they won 25 last season.
Yeah, I do think they're probably in the same range as this year, around 25. So I'd go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well too. As much as I said, I don't think this team's very good, but I also like some things to keep in mind with the Pacers. They've got Miles Turner and Buddy Hield still on this team,
Oh, that's right.
and they're going to play and put up points. I know depending on when the Pacers move those guys is really going to affect, I think, their shot. If they get one of those bottom picks, you got a high chance to get Victor Wembanyama, or if they're
Mhm.
going to be a more competitive team, they could really screw themselves and be in a situation where, yeah, okay, you're developing Tyrese, Benedict Mathurin, but you don't get a play-in spot, and you also don't get the bottom odds for Victor Wembanyama, and you're stuck somewhere in no man's land, which I'm sure the Indiana Pacers don't want. So it'll be very calculated, I'm sure, the moves. But I do think just even with the components, Rick Carlisle on the team, that they're going to win more games than probably they should. Because
I
I don't
agree.
know. If I was a team like that, like I love those guys, but still, I'd be tanking the hell right now if I could.
Yeah.
With where things at. Okay, so Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, this team had a lot of movement. Some exciting things happened in the offseason. Donovan Mitchell coming to the team. You've got a set core now of Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, and Jared Allen. Do
Yeah.
you think this team could be a top 6 in the East? So they don't even have to do the play-in. They skip the play-in. They're a top
Yeah,
6
I do.
team in the East this
Yeah,
year.
for sure. Absolutely. I think they're in a very good position with the youth that they have, the star power now that they have. Yeah, this team's locked and loaded.
So their over-under is 47.5.
Oh,
Last
wow.
season, they won 44 games.
Yeah, I think they're winning more. You remember how many games Utah won with Donovan Mitchell? That Utah team was like good, but they were finishing in first every year. Like they were winning games. So think about how well Cleveland played last year. 44 games they won. Throw Donovan Mitchell in the mix? Come on. They're winning more than that. They're winning more than 47.
Is it enough for you to put a lock on it?
No. No, I'm saving my locks. All of them for the
You're
Lakers.
saving your... Well, dude, you got locks for the East. You got locks for the East, okay? Lakers
Yeah,
are in the West. I don't know if
my
you do.
next lock is coming up here.
Okay, all right. So you're picking over on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm picking over on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm contemplating putting a lock on that. We'll see. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love that team, man. As an exciting team, it's just great. Just so awesome. Okay, next up. This, yeah, probably like you. This is my favorite team coming into the 2022-2023 NBA season. The Detroit Le Pistons. Their over under is at 29.5. Last year they won 23 games. So they're, expecting that they win at least 6 more, roughly.
What's the over under number?
29.5.
Oh man, okay. What do you think?
So that does complicate things a little bit. And right now they're 23. This, in my eyes, is really contingent on the success of a first season rookie
Yeah.
Poison Ivy.
So
Jaden
like
Ivey.
maybe one of my favorite players. I wouldn't say I'm all that stoked about the Detroit Le Pistons like you are, but as a player, Ivy's going to be a very, very cool guy to watch.
Do you think Ivy has a shot to be Rookie of the Year?
Yeah. Yeah. But sadly, I don't think he wins it because I don't think they win more than 27. I think
more than 27, so you're going to pick an under.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look at the division.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. That is the only reason I'm with you. I think I'd pick an under.
Too challenged here. They play they'll play Milwaukee, and then the other divisions they play Boston, Philly. Like no, they're getting rocked.
Raptors.
They might have well, they could. Yeah, I mean, they could have some special nights, but until that happens, no, they're losing games.
I think Marvin Bagley hurt his ankle again recently too, or something.
He's injured. Yeah.
So that just sucks, man.
Love Dwayne Casey. Want to see him succeed. Want to see the team succeed. But they're not going to. Not next year.
All right, so we both pick under on the Detroit Pistons.
All right.
And last but not least,
Hit me with the Southeast.
the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh yeah, right. The Central last. Yeah, okay. They're pretty
So
good.
they're okay. The Milwaukee Bucks over under this year is 52.5. Last year they won 51 games. So they would have to win 2 more games than they won last year to hit the over on this.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. Quite honestly, this team is still.
My question for you, Bray, is the Milwaukee Bucks your team to win the NBA Finals this year?
No, stop it.
Damn it.
No, it's a team in the West. No, I love Milwaukee and I love Giannis and I love everything that he does in this small market for this franchise. I think that they will continue to win. They will maybe even get to the finals again. But I say over. I say over on that number.
Over.
Yeah, I'm putting a lock on that.
Nice. First lock of the night.
First lock. Yeah, but no confidence in them winning the finals.
But no. Do you think they'll be in the finals? One of the two teams?
No. I don't think it'll be a team in the Central. I think it'll be either. Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, that's fair. I kind of want to put a lock on them too. I'm going to hold off for now, but we'll see. You're going to have Middleton back, fully healthy, ready to go. Yeah. It's a great core. This was actually a team I was thinking a lot about, Eastern Conference playoffs, the Philadelphia 76ers versus Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm trying to look at it and see okay, Harden does this, Drew Holiday takes away that. Embiid does this, Giannis does that. It terrifies me thinking, I could see the 76ers making it to the finals. I think that's going to be the hardest team to beat. I think Giannis is the best player still today in the NBA. He has that X factor that he can just will you to a win. And with Chris Middleton and those pieces, it's amazing. However, the one caveat that kind of made me a little bit nervous about Milwaukee this year is their depth. As I don't think they have as much depth on that team as they've had in seasons past. Mm-hmm. And that may play a factor in the long run in terms of their success. And that's why I kind of gave it to Philly.
You didn't need it last year.
You didn't, but I mean, not having Middleton and then the absence of that depth, they had no chance. And that should have been the team. If Middleton was healthy, that would have been the team in the finals over Boston, hands down. Yeah. That was the scariest playoffs. I mean, it sucked they lost to Golden State, but that was the scariest round in the playoffs is when Boston had to face Milwaukee. I hated every one of those games because he is that good of a player. It literally shakes you to your core. You feel like you're just helpless to win games. And that's the only reason I think that Philadelphia is probably going to go to the finals and win it all is because they have way more depth on their team this year. They're just crazy loaded with the amount of options that they have. But anyways, so that's the end of the Central. Both picked over on that. We're on to the Southeast. Yay! This is so fun. So the Southeast, we've got Miami, Orlando, Atlanta, Washington, and Charlotte. Oh, God. Okay, so first up, the Miami Heat. They're projected to have 48.5 wins. Last season, they won 53. So they're giving them a little bit of a break that they could lose a few more games. My question to you is it over for Kyle Lowry?
Over? His
career? Yeah.
Is he injured?
Well, not injured, but the Kyle that we knew in Toronto and what he could do and produce for the team. Can he still do that in Miami this upcoming year?
Yeah, he's definitely regressed in his age and his ability, but no, I think this guy's still a dog, and I think he's still a valuable component to any team that he's on, even if it's just leadership and that kind of confidence that he instills in the team. I don't think that Miami has anything to worry about when it comes to what Kyle can do regarding producing. Nah, I mean, I have a feeling they probably won't push what they did last year in 53 games. They might come close, but I don't think that this team's going to have problems. Bam's going to take another step. Jimmy's Jimmy.
Do you think Bam's going to take another step? That was another question I was kind of thinking about too.
I think he could.
Because I've seen moments last year where Bam will be good, and then there's moments where he's just completely like a ghost.
Totally.
Like,
you know what I could see him doing though is like really becoming what Dwight Howard was, and kind of becoming one of the. I mean, he already is a premier center in the league, but I think he could assert his dominance a little more this year.
Kind of that mid enforcer who kind of sets the tone and is a major facilitator too, right? Because that was something I felt really like when Dwight was in Orlando, you know, how he could facilitate the ball to the wings, you know, if it was Hedo Turkoglu or what was it? What was his name? Jameer
Nelson.
Nelson. It always, you know, prior to kind of Steph Curry coming in, it was like this 3-point threat that was really scary. I mean, I could definitely see that from Bam. I just don't want him to like shake away from the moment, you know, like when it comes and you need to deliver, to have those games consistently, like we see, you know, you're capable of doing.
Yep.
And I mean, that for me is, I don't know, the Kyle Lowry thing. Like, I want him to still be playing well. I think he had a terrible year last year. Like, he played really, really bad. It was, I think, one of his worst seasons in a very long time. But, you know, I do think it doesn't matter if Kyle plays incredibly well or if he's just still a good ancillary piece. It isn't going to make a huge difference from Miami. But I feel like, you know, the success or failure of this team, in my eyes, is really dependent on Bam.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, like, do you think, I don't know, at 48.5, do you feel confident you go over or under on that?
I think it's under.
And
I only said that because where do the other games go? And I think we've given them to Philly, and we've given them to Brooklyn, and we've given them to Cleveland. You know, like,
and even the Pacers probably.
I think all of the, actually, quite honestly, and this is why they do the over under numbers, but these numbers are really close to what I think will happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And you might see a couple upsets or a couple surprises, but
yeah, like that. I don't know. My eyes looking at all these teams, the only one I could see like falling off a cliff would be Chicago. You know, that's about it.
Yeah.
So far. Orlando Magic. 26.5. First overall pick in Banchero. They've got Franz Wagner on the team. They have Jalen Suggs. We still have
who's injured and probably won't play for a long time.
We still have in Jason Tatum's year, what was his name?
Markelle
Fultz. We also have
I love they said Jason Tatum's year. What was his name?
Because it was Jason Tatum's
first overall.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Gosh. It's so amazing. We fleeced him. We fleeced Philly. It was so good.
Well, I think that number's under. I don't think you've given me a number yet, but they'll be in the top 3 again.
26.5, and last season they were 22.
Yeah. No, they're under.
I'm picking over on this, man.
Good job. Good for you. I don't think that they can compete against NBA teams yet. I think Paolo's good, and he'll have some really good nights. I just don't think that I don't think they got the stuff yet.
They don't have the stuff. Well, when do they have the stuff? How many times?
Victor Wembanyama.
Oh my God! They still got Mo Bamba on that team, or
that's just it. I think they need a little bit more like oomph. Like, I was gonna say girth, but what I meant is like a PJ Tucker, a Kyle Lowry. Kind of like a pit bull. They need some sort of like dog in there, and maybe Banchero turns into that. But I just don't think they have like playoff contention rigor quite yet because they haven't been there.
I don't. Well, yeah. I mean, it's been, I guess, all those guys on that team. Yeah, haven't been there. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like they're young. They're young, but I don't know. I feel like you got enough there that you can work to build something up.
Mm-hmm.
Might not quite be a play-in team, but I feel like they'll be competitive. The Atlanta Hawks. I'm just bullying through some of these because I feel like it's just
let's blow through them.
It's going to be 45 and a half for this upcoming year. Last season, they won 43 games. The question I have for you, does DeJounte Murray coming to Atlanta is it going to work? Is this backcourt with Trey and DeJounte, is it going to work? Or are they going to be successful?
I think so. I don't know how exactly they play off ball as well. Maybe Trey's good at that. I haven't seen him do that yet. It's very possible that they turn into the next coming of the Splash Brothers and what they're able to do. DeJounte's a little bit more of like a ball handler, dynamic playmaker than Clay is. Clay can do a lot of special things, and no way am I saying this is Trey is like Steph, but Trey's game is like Steph. So I think that this could work, and I think they are an over on that.
I'm picking.
Come on, we got a whole Western Conference to get to.
Over. I'm just trying to count my overs and my unders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh shit, I'm right. 6 and 6. Man,
what you got a quota to meet here?
I'm going over, but I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it because I don't know if they got all the pieces, and I think this is going to take a full season just to figure it out. So I think we should temper expectations. What's that?
Right.
Well, it's hard because you've yo-yoed as the Atlanta Hawks. You had this incredible year where you were like the 4th seed or something, and you're playing against the New York Knicks. You went to the 3rd round of the playoffs. Then you went to a season where it was just an absolute disaster to try and contend and deal with. And now you're coming back in and you moved a lot of pieces. I still think there's some movement that needs to happen on that team. Like you need to bring in like a good guy. I thought off the top of my head was from Phoenix. No, not Ayton. They've been trying to move him around.
Big?
Yeah, he plays like the 4 roster. I'm just gonna keep making noise and sounds as I'm do. Ba. Why can't I find it? Jay Crowder. Jay, like I don't know. Like
they're shopping Crowder.
They have been shopping Crowder. I don't know. Yeah, he came in and said he didn't want to be on the team anymore.
He started with Atlanta, didn't he?
I think so. At some point, he was on there. I don't like a guy like him. They need. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about with the PJ Tucker or Kyle Lowry. Jay Crowder is right in that mold of those guys help you win championships. And Atlanta's not far. I really don't think Atlanta's far. If they're kind of in the mold that Toronto made, they gotta keep pushing. I think they'll win more games this year.
The Washington Wizards.
Boom. Next.
Are you going under?
Yeah. Wait, what's the number? 30?
The number is 35.5. Last
year, how many games they won?
Last year they won 35.
Yeah. So under. I think this is the year Beal finally leaves.
Or starts the ball, realizes this is done.
He goes to Portland.
No, he goes to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook. And 2 picks, the 2020, the 2027,
goes back to Washington.
Pick. Yeah.
God, garbage.
Lifts him up into the playoffs again.
Let me just clean up the puke. I just puked everywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna pick under 2. Yeah. The Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I like this team. I don't like Gordon Hayward's new haircut, but
I hate this team. I hate this team. I'm going under on. I hate this team. I'm going under on this team, and I think this is one of the top 3 teams that's going to get Victor Wembanyama this year. Saying that they're going to be one of the 3 worst teams in the NBA.
They would love that. They would love that. But what's the number?
The number is 33.5. Last year they won 43 games.
Are you kidding me? They're winning more than 33. That's disrespect.
I pick
They
under.
dropped
You know
them
what?
under 10.
I pick under, and I'm gonna fucking lock it. It's locked. That's how much I believe they're gonna be shit. They're gonna be. They hired Cliff. They hired their coach. They fired 4 years ago.
They finished 10th overall last year.
Nah, this team is trash, man. This team.
They were in the play-in.
Team is straight
So
trash, man.
So who of these teams are better and will finish higher than Charlotte? New York, Washington, Indiana, Detroit, or Orlando?
Atlanta.
No, that wasn't it. I didn't name that team.
Oh, Orlando, is that what you said?
Orlando, Detroit, Indiana, Washington, or New York. You're like, yeah, Boston.
Boston. Orlando and New York. Both those teams will.
Finish above Charlotte?
Yeah. Both
Alrighty.
Orlando and New York will finish above Charlotte.
All right.
So, I'm telling you, garbage team, lock it next.
Do you like fast cars? Do you like when they race? Whether you're a seasoned Formula One fan or you've just discovered the rush of racing, check out the Pit Stop Podcast presented by the Ordinary Podcasting Network. Join Jordan, Tyler, and Braden each week as they recap every race as well as break down the biggest stories on and off the track, all before setting you up for the next race in the Formula One schedule. The Pit Stop Podcast is available anywhere you get your podcast.
Okay, we're on to the West.
We got to keep our listeners listening here. Let's motor along.
OKC Thunder. We're doing the Northwest now. The Oklahoma City. Their second overall is injured for the year. Their over-under is 23.5. Last year, they won 24 games.
Yeah, I think they'll win 25.
Wasn't Shea injured recently, too?
I have no idea. I want to see this team get Victor Wembanyama more than any other team.
That would be amazing.
I just want to see Sam Presti like really strike gold with everything that he gave up for once. I say over. I don't know.
You're picking over.
I'm saying over, even though I kind of want them to tank. I mean, I don't want any team to tank, just so it's known. But if there was a team to kind of encourage a first overall again, it would be the OKC Thunder. I think they've got like 3 or 4 in this year's coming up draft.
Yeah, they got a lot.
I think they'll win 25, so I'm saying over.
Okay, cool. I love Shea. I want to see Shea play basketball. I feel like we've been robbed of that. And like, what a weird start for a player's career. And I'm picking under. I'm picking under on OKC. The Minnesota Timberwolves. They got Rudy Gobert in this offseason. They have 2 giant Goliaths. They have giant Goliath contracts, and I love Ant-Man, and their over-under this year is 48.5. And last year they won 46. Ant-Man?
What do you like about him?
He's a leader. He's a dog. He's fast, explosive, and he's competitive as hell, and he gets better every year that he's played basketball. I love Ant-Man. I'm picking over on the Minnesota Timberwolves, 48.5.
Did you not see Hustle? He is such a bad dude.
He's playing a character. Come on. Everyone that said who's met Ant-Man said that he's the nicest freaking guy.
Well, Cruz, man, that's where my allegiances are at.
All right.
Okay, what was the number?
48.5. Last year they won 46. You're going under?
Wait, what team are we talking about?
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Under 48. No way. No way, Jose's.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, wait, but they got Rudy. Yeah. No, I say under. They're
gonna be an incredible regular season team, but I don't know.
They're gonna do well.
Playoffs.
Yeah, they'll do well. I just think that there's a stark chance that something happens here that doesn't work.
I am starring the Minnesota Timberwolves, kind of like the Detroit Pistons. Anytime I can catch one of those games, I want to watch them because I think that's just
it'd be cool
to see how it works. Like, how often have you seen like 2 giant bigs like that?
Quite honestly, if they kept Pat Bev, like this team could go very far.
Oh, dude, this next team, I am so excited to get your perspective on. This is a team that I think also has finals hopes in my eyes. I think this is a team that could win it all. The Denver Nuggets over
the
under
Nuggets.
49.5. Last season, the Denver Nuggets won 48 games with Nikola Jokic barely. Oh my goodness, what is his name?
Jamal?
Not Jamal Murray.
Michael
Porter Jr. Barely had Michael Porter Jr. there all season. Didn't have Jamal at all, and had like a very rancid support team.
Disrespectful. This number is disrespectful. They will win more, and I also think that they will make it to the finals, if not win it. This is the team I have my eyes on. That
are you locking the over?
I'm locking an over. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm locking the over too, dude. I believe you, man. So what are your thoughts? What makes you think that they could win it all?
Jamal Murray, he's back. I mean, Jokic is the reason, but now you bring in all of the star talent that he hasn't had in the last couple of years. I mean, come on, this thing's inevitable. They've got the system. They know that it works. Jokic is Jokic, 2-time MVP. Like, come on.
They made some great moves recently. They got KCP, so they got more defensive support on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Like,
and 3-point shooting.
Their team is balanced, like really well balanced. I love Karl Malone. As a coach, just credit. Wait, no. What am I saying?
I think so.
Is that
I think so.
No, not Karl Malone. He used to play for the. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Malone. Yeah, but it is Karl. Oh, come on. It's
Mike Malone.
Victor Wembanyama. Mike Malone. That's right.
Karl Malone. Mike Malone. I think he's. I don't know. I'm really big fan of him as a coach. Picking the over, locking it. Denver Nuggets. Boom. They're gonna win it. So stoked. Utah Jazz.
Oh man, like every year this would have been an over. Yeah, well, definitely a big time under. I couldn't tell you anybody who's on this team, and that's kind of the point. Like this is a team that could get another big French center in Wembanyama if all the stars align for them.
This is hilarious. So last year, Utah won 49 games. Their over-under this year is 24.5.
But they lost their two
literally half the games. They cut off half of the games, but still going to be under, man. Like, it's just they got nothing.
But 20. What's the number? 24?
24.5.
Like, that's a close one. Like, they could finish like around 25, 26, 27.
True.
The lowest wins last year was Houston with 20, and then the next was Detroit 23 and OKC 24. And those are like, I think we had unders on all of those teams, and those numbers would have been around the same.
So it might be a slight over, but
I'm going under, yeah.
Okay, last in the Northwest, Portland. Damian Lillard's coming back. I don't know what the hell to make of this team. Their over-under is 39.5, and last year they won 27 games. What are your thoughts? That's all I have to honestly say, man.
Not 39.5, not more than that. Dame is definitely going to help them win games. They went on an 11-game losing streak to end the season last year. This team is demoralized. I think they have some energy to win games, but they need help. I really like that many wins.
I like Anthony Simons. I think he could be a good replacement for CJ McCollum for that scoring off ball with Lillard, and Nurkic. This is what, I'm just going to say it right now too. I think this is another one of those teams that if shit goes sideways, like,
blow it up.
God forbid Dame hurts himself or whatnot, that this team could also just blow it up and decide to tank for Vic.
Yeah.
Like Chicago, I think they're kind of in that same boat of like, this is kind of a moment, like, which direction are you going to go in, up or down? So I'm picking under. I'm just picking under. Okay. So that was the Northwest. Now we're on the Pacific Division. So we're getting to some really, really fun stuff. First off, on the Pacific Division, let's talk about a team that a lot of NBA media has been talking about these last couple of weeks. There's a lot of high expectation for some reason that they're going to be like great as in a play-in team, great, maybe making the playoffs. The Sacramento Kings.
I thought you were the Lakers. Wasn't the 5?
33.5. Last year they won 30 games. So they got Sabonis. They drafted Keegan Murray, who's like supposedly going to be this high antiquated player. could
And Fox, man.
And Fox. I've heard rumors too that Murray might be the favorite for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Do you
wouldn't be
believe?
surprised.
Do you believe this Sacramento Kings team could be a play-in team this season in the West?
I guess so. I mean, I've never said anything like that in my life before regarding the Sacramento Kings. They just like year in and year out kind of prove that they don't do that. But I don't see why they wouldn't. I think Keegan Murray is going to be a really great addition to them, and I like Fox. What's the number? What's the over-under number?
The over-under is 33.5.
Yeah, man, let's go over on this.
Nice.
Let's say they go over and they push a play-in, and they knock LA out of the play-in tournament.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna pick over as well. I don't feel good about it though. I don't feel good about it. Like, I don't trust it.
That's their fault.
Yeah, exactly. Because like my whole life, the Sacramento Kings pretty much have not been good. So,
yeah.
But I really do like Keegan Murray. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool hype that this guy drafted, what was he, 4th overall? He might end up being the Rookie of the Year. The Golden...
It happened last year.
That's right. Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
My question for you. The Draymond Green, Jordan Poole punch. Anybody want to get context on this? Just search it up online and you can get all the information you need about what happened. This was like a very vicious punch. This happens all the time. They say in like sports and amongst team players, whatever, but this was pretty intense. Question I have for you, Bray, was that punch the beginning of the end for the big three as we know it in Golden State?
The fracture. No, I don't think so. It is bad. It's bad that it happened, but it's also bad that it leaked to the public to actually see what happened, how it happened, that they couldn't handle it in-house. It just adds all that much. It just brings more dark clouds around the team, especially after such excitement and elation from winning it again last year. But no, man, I don't think that this breaks them up. I think, if anything, this could bring them stronger together. They just signed Poole to a 4-year deal. They signed Wiggins to a 4-year deal, like in the last few hours.
But that was
that
was part of the problem, though. Is supposedly they said like the issue where Draymond was so dealing with these emotions and these sentiments is that both Wiggins and Poole were eligible for these contract extensions, and they were going to get paid big buck. Like did you see how
deservedly so?
How much did Jordan Poole get paid? Because I know
like $104 million over 4 years.
So Tyler Hero got that contract with Miami, right? And that's at the bar for players like Poole. Like, okay, like thank you for Miami for doing. But so for me, seeing Draymond, he's looking at the writings on the wall. Like, oh, we can't pay. All of us can't get the bag. One of us is going to get cut short. I've given so much of myself to this team, and I'm not going to get what I feel is maybe rightly due financially for what I felt.
That's why he punched the dude.
Not why he punched the dude, but I think in the heat of the moment, dealing with those emotions of how maybe he's being perceived by this team that he's been with for so long, perceives him, or just the reality that all good things must come to an end at some point. Not necessarily everybody can spend their whole career with one team and retire. And it's a business. And I think all of those things surmounted in a heated game that they're probably playing in that skirmish, and just the emotions boiled over at that point. And we do know Draymond to be a type of person over the years to really, wear his heart on his sleeve is, I think
but I think that he's also the kind of leader to own his mistakes
for sure,
publicly and in private to get past this kind of situation. Vicious attack. But I think that I think he's got the wherewithal to stand into what happened and be accountable.
My thoughts on it all is I think that they will get over this and they will be successful. I'm going to give the over on Golden State at 51.5. They won 53 games last year. I think they're incredible. I think having Kuminga, actually having Wiseman back, Moody, all these ancillary pieces to already what they've done, it's incredible. Like this team has reinvented themselves almost like the San Antonio Spurs did, in that long run that they had. But I do think when Draymond's contract ends, there's not going to be another contract for Draymond Green and Golden State. That's my gut feeling, because you just can't afford them. Like you're paying Wiggins, and rightly so for what those guys did, Wiggins and Poole, in this moment with the team. It's crazy, man. I mean, this is one of those teams where I feel like if I had to be a GM, this would be one of the most difficult things to navigate. Like you kind of know what you have to do, but still to talk with all of those people. Anyways, the LA Clippers, who some people think are going to be this team that's going to go all the way and win it this year as well too, which I kind of have my reservations about. Their over-under is 52.5 this year, a staggering 52.5. Last year they won 42 games, so they're expecting they're going to win 11 more games than they did last year. You're getting Kawhi back and Paul George.
That's
back.
why.
Everybody's 100%. Do you believe that Kawhi and this team have what it takes to make a deep playoff run this year?
Yep, I sure as hell do. I will always and forever believe in Kawhi Leonard. I think that there has been no regression in his game, even though he's been injured. I think that we're going to see another resurgence in John Wall's game, a little bit of pep to that team that was struggling. I think they'll be over on that number. Yeah,
over on 52.5. I'm picking under. And I'm picking under for the sole reason I think they're going to be really good. I think they're just going to be slightly under that number of 52.5. I think they'll have 50 wins, because I think the West is, with Denver and some of these other teams playing well. And I think it's going to be some of those games where, having Norman Powell on that team as well too. The team's incredibly deep on the Clippers, but it's going to be sussing out the muscle cramps, not like the literal, but like the little hiccups, to get a chemistry going on that team that's really going to start to be like a well-oiled machine. So I'm just going to pick slight under. But okay, the Phoenix Suns. I'm not even going to look at the number for what the Phoenix Suns is this year. I'm picking under. I think this team is an absolute shit show. And I think their window's closed for winning the finals. Could they make a deep playoff run? I think it's possible. Their over-under is 52.5. Last year, they won 64 games. They won an astounding 64 games. And so, I mean, I guess there's a huge incentive here. If they won 64, over-under is 52.5. You probably could pick the over on it. What are your thoughts?
I'm picking the over. I don't think this team's going anywhere. They had some internal drama from not winning, but I don't think there's anything deeper than.
Apparently, DeAndre Ayton and the coach for Phoenix, which I can't think off the top of my head, haven't spoken since the end of the playoffs.
Big deal. Yeah, but the coach, Monty Williams, he was like, I haven't spoken to any of the players. I just letting them have their summer. I don't think there's anything to read into that. That's just media,
fueling drama.
Yeah, oh my God, they haven't spoken. They're not friends. It's like they're not supposed to be. They've got a coach-player relationship. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Apparently, Nick Nurse and Pascal Siakam were all, button heads at the end of the season. This is a highly competitive sport, and these guys all want to win. So, yeah, there's going to be some times where a Draymond Green will punch Jordan Poole in the face.
Jay Crowder asked for a trade. I think he's a really big piece that helps them actually be successful on that team. Not having him would be a big loss. Yeah. So if they can get a good
you've
support.
Still got Chris Paul. You've still got Booker. You've still got Ayton.
Did you know Chris Paul,
Mikal Bridges?
Chris Paul, LeBron James. Oh my God, there's one other player. But those are like the three oldest players in the NBA now.
Kyle. Is it Kyle?
Well, probably Kyle Lowry, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
So that's crazy, man. I mean, he's getting up there. So, okay, I'm just gonna say it. The Los Angeles Lakers, 45.5 over under last year. They won 33 games. You really wanted to talk about this team, so I'm just going to give you the floor.
If they stay healthy, and by they, I mean the big man, Anthony Davis, stays healthy, they have a high probability of making the playoffs and going over on the number that you just gave me. However, he doesn't seem to be able to do that with any game that he ever plays. So my confidence in that is slim. I want to see this Pat Bev Westbrook thing work. Again, it's frustrating to see the optics of what happens when Westbrook kind of is all pissy and playing the me game. I think Darvin Ham is a great coach, so I want to see the system kind of work for LeBron under Darvin Ham. I think at the beginning of this podcast, I was feeling really pessimistic about the Lakers' chances. And then looking at kind of the rest of the West here, I think that they have a chance at the playoffs this year, but like a play-in. So I'm still going under on the 45, though. I think they've reached the like 41, 42 mark.
So they're a play-in team at that point.
They were a game away from the play-in last year. But they need it. They need it. LeBron needs it. Yeah.
I'm going to. Oh my God. I just wrote it, so I'm going to leave it. I'm picking over on the Lakers.
Nice.
That is ridiculous. 45.5. I'm probably a crazy person for doing that.
Well, you shouldn't ever bet against LeBron. I got to say that. Last year was a bit of an anomaly, but
I really like all of the things that I've seen so far of Anthony Davis in the preseason games. I think he doesn't have as much weight on him as he did last year.
He's healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy. And if he can stay healthy, this could be a huge year for him. And that's what I'm banking on. And I do know at some point this season, they're going to trade Russell Westbrook, the 2027 and the 2029 first overall pick. Those two Lakers picks. Because it's the only reason that LeBron this summer signed that extension was the conversation of the approval that he couldn't be traded this year, of the approval that those two picks would get moved. And if those two picks are going to get moved this season, that means Westbrook's going to be gone. And right now, the best option on the table that they have for them is Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I don't think that does it. If they get those two players, I don't think that's enough. But if they can get something...
But Miles Turner definitely helps the cause.
Does help. If they can get something better... Like perimeter defense, that's something big they need. If they can get some, and shooting, lots of shooting. But if they can get something better,
Buddy Hield shoots, Turner shoots.
But Buddy Hield doesn't play defense.
Yeah,
but I guess you do have, like you said, what's this? Jeez Louise. We're getting into this. Anyways, I'm picking over. That might be crazy. We'll see what happens. We're on to the last division.
Hit me.
First up, the New Orleans Pelicans. This is, besides Denver, besides Detroit, my third favorite team this season. I love this team. I freaking love this team. I love everything about this team. I never thought that I would say that about the New Orleans Pelicans. Their over-under this year is 44.5. Last season, they won 36 games. If I had to think a question to ask you about the New Orleans Pelicans, with everything that they have on this team, one, do you think Zion can stay healthy all year, which is kind of a big if? And two, how far do you think this New Orleans Pelicans team could make it in the season and maybe also the playoffs?
Yeah,
this year.
In the season, I want to say over because I want to see Zion play this season, and if he plays, they'll win. But I think he's already injured. I think he's stepped out of his house and sprained his ankle or something. Okay, yeah. So let's hope that sorts itself out. But even without that, Brandon Ingram, Alvarado, this team showed what they could do. JV's still JV. I think that, but I don't think they go deep, man. I just don't. I don't have confidence they'll go deep in the West. Just the competition's too hot. I think it was a bit of a Cinderella story last year.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So at 44.5, you're gonna pick over or under?
That was their number? 45?
44 and a half this year. Last year they won 36.
No, I think it's under. Ooh, that's a close one though. That like again, it's so contingent on health, but I got to say it's under.
I am picking over. I am also let me take a look. Let me take a look at my let's see the Hornets. So then this was the start of the West, and so far I don't have any locks. So I'm going to put a lock on the New Orleans Pelicans over. And the reason why is because Willie Green, the New Orleans Pelicans head coach, is my absolute favorite coach in the NBA. If I could have a coach or a leader as an individual, I want Willie Green. If you listen to one of Willie Green's impassioned speeches, he will move you and motivate you to a place that you think you're beyond capable of doing. And he also nurtures your growth, and he gives you a foundation and a belief. That is one of the, it's such a rare skill, I think, in a leader position, to genuinely elicit, instill, and exuberate belief in other people. And I think Willie Green does that, and I'm picking a solid over. I think this team is straight up terrifying. I love so many pieces on this team. I think Brandon Ingram is the real deal. I think Brandon Ingram is going to be an all-star this season. Straight up all-star. If Zion stays healthy, the sky's the limit. I could see this being a second round, pushing third round. Western.
Lofty.
Lofty. I'm saying it
next.
Saying it right now.
Let's get to a team that actually will do that.
Oh, I just wanted to say really quick too on the Lakers with the under. Do you want to lock that?
No, I don't feel good about that one.
Beginning of this pod, you were going to lock that. I knew you were.
I was quite confident. And then I started looking at some of the other teams here, what they've done. I'm about to lock in some Memphis Dallas picks though.
Okay, here you go. So the Houston Rockets are coming up next. Maybe you want to lock this on the under. 23 and a half.
Yeah,
23 and a half. Last year they 120.
I like Jabari Smith Jr. and I really like Jalen Green. I think those two guys are going to be incredible talents for Houston, but I don't think they're going to make. What's the number? 23?
23 and a half.
You know what, dude? I'm going over. I think they're going to go over on that.
This is one of my top picks. I think is going to get Vic Wembanyama, but that is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they've got a very high chance at that. But even if they, hit 25,
I guess true. They still could have a good shot. Yeah. Okay, I'm picking under. You picking over. Yeah, young pieces. They'll be fun to watch.
For sure.
Dallas Mavericks. Okay, this is an interesting one. Dallas Mavericks 48 and a half last season. They won 52 games. They lost Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, whatever. They got Luka.
Are you picking over and under on this Dallas Mavericks?
I'm picking over.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
I think this Dallas team's going to slot right into where Utah was in terms of competition.
See, that's Denver for me.
Well, Denver was already at the top, and Dallas was just pushing that. I think Denver's going to take another step. But, Dallas had more wins last year than Denver did.
That's true. But Denver will have way more than Dallas does this year. And I honestly kind of feel New Orleans might flip Dallas too. I honestly don't feel very good about Dallas this year. I don't.
Interesting.
I'm picking under on them. I think one of these teams are going to have to fall from graces with how competitive the West is getting this year. And especially with the Clippers coming back too. I think this is going to be a team that's going to get sucker punched a lot. You're
going to take New Orleans winning over Dallas?
Yep. I'm picking. Dude. I think the New Orleans Pelicans are going to have a higher seed than the Dallas Mavericks by the end of the season.
Wow, that's bold. No way. I'm not betting against Luka. There's no way. I'd pick Luka over any of the players. This is the guy who's
got a Luka jersey, okay? This guy's got a Luka jersey.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised. I'll take it back. All right, I'm going over, and I'm locking it.
You're locking it?
Yeah, might as well.
Love it. Love the confidence. Okay, Memphis Grizzlies, 48 and a half. Last season, they won 56. They're giving them a pretty good, buffer here.
Yeah,
I'm picking over on this. I don't know about you.
I am too. I'm locking it.
Yeah,
John
me too,
Moran all the
man.
way, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, barring like crazy injury, but even when they didn't have Jaren Jackson, they were like still like killing games. So
Yeah.
they're
Steven
just
Adams.
oh god, they're Showtime. That's a Showtime team right there, as Magic would say. And last but not least, we've gotten to the end. Potentially the number one worst seed in all of the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs.
Is this Pops last year?
I think so.
What if they get Wembanyama?
That's a good question.
One more
I don't know. I think he would still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's the number?
The Spurs 22.5. And last season they were 34. That's crazy. 22.5 is so low.
Well, they lost Murray. They lost.
Oh man.
That's a hard one though. I'm saying over because I think that's too low.
I'm gonna say over 2 for that exact same reason. I think there'll be like a game or two just above that. But oh man, I don't know. It's crazy.
Damn.
Okay, so to quickly recap, I'm gonna just look in the East. I have I've got 3 locks. You have only 1 lock in the East. I'm going to run through these really quick. I'm just going to say what the locks are. You're going to tell me if you want to lock any more. We'll say 3 of each. We can keep track of, okay? The Sixers, you said over, I said over. I locked that. That was at 50.5. The New York Knicks, we both said under, 38.5. The Toronto Raptors, we both said over. I locked that, 45.5. The Boston Celtics, we both picked under. They were at like 52.5. The Brooklyn Nets, you went over. I went under. Chicago Bulls, we both
I'm going to lock my Brooklyn pick.
You're going to lock your Brooklyn pick. All right, we're locking the Brooklyn pick. The Bulls, okay, so you've got one more lock left. The Bulls, both of us went under. The Pacers, we both went over. Cleveland, we both went over.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cleveland pick too.
I kind of figured you're going to do that one. All right. Okay, so we got our 3. So out in the East, I locked the Sixers, Toronto, and Charlotte, and you picked Brooklyn, Cleveland, Milwaukee. You feel good about that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. On to the West. The West, you've got 3 locks. I have 3 locks. So we're set. Our locks, we both picked locks on or over for the Denver Nuggets. You picked a lock on the over on the Dallas Mavericks. I locked the over on the New Orleans Pelicans. And we both locked the over on the Memphis Grizzlies. I think those are great locks. This was a great over-under. Okay. So let's see. This pod's been 124. It's been a long pod. I apologize. We'll maybe save the awards maybe for next pod. But I really want to quickly do this quick game if you're into it.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. So we'll do, I don't know, do you want to do like a snake draft, a normal draft for the game?
I don't know what the game is.
Okay, so this is the game. I'll explain it really quick. And you can do this at home with your friends or whatnot. So it's a point system, okay? We are each going to pick 6 teams. And for each of the 6 teams that you pick, and we're going to go back and forth drafting these teams, you're going to take either the wins or the losses. You're wanting to get the most amount of points. So at the end of the season, for example, if Boston gets a lot of wins and you pick Boston, you get all of those wins. Or you could also pick losses. Say like the Utah Jazz are going to lose a lot of games, so I'll pick Utah. And you get all those points. And then we add up all the points. Whoever has more kind of wins.
Cool. And how many teams? 6?
6 each. So
all
it's
right,
like
let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. You want to do a quick rock, paper, scissors? See who goes first?
Sure. Rock, paper, scissors. It's a tie.
Okay.
Okay, rock,
paper, scissors.
Scissors. Fuck, it's a tie again.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Haha!
Damn it.
I win.
Okay, right. So you get. So how do we do this? Do we just go back and forth? We'll just go back.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. You're up first. I'll keep track.
All right. I'm taking wins.
So you get either wins or losses. It's your choice, but you only get 6 teams.
Wait, can it only be wins, or can you do win or loss for the team?
For each team, but you have to tell me what you're going to take with each team.
Yeah. So I'm going to take wins on the Golden State Warriors. Come on. They just won the finals. You got to take the
first pick. You pick Golden State. Golden State wins. Okay. I'm going to take the losses. Utah Jazz.
Ooh, that's a good pick. That's a lot of losses you're going to get. Okay. I'm going to take wins on the Memphis Grizzlies.
Wins on Memphis. Love it. I'm totally gaming the system. I'm going to take the losses on the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay. I'm going to take the losses on the Rockets.
The losses on the Rockets. Okay. I will take the wins on the 76ers.
How many teams have we gotten so far?
We each have 3. Yeah.
I'm going to take the wins on the Boston Celtics.
Ooh, you son of a bitch. Okay, I will take the wins on the Bucks then.
Okay.
We each have 2 more.
I'll take the wins on the Denver Nuggets.
Ooh, that's a good one. The Denver Nugs. Oh, now it gets kind of tricky. Gets kind of tricky. What is a? Oh man. Oh, I will take the losses on OKC.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, you got 1 more.
1 more?
Yeah, you got 1 more left.
What are my teams? Memphis, Golden State.
So you've
Boston.
got wins Golden State, wins Memphis, loss Rockets, wins Celtics, wins Denver.
All right.
And I have Utah, Spurs, Sixers, Bucks, OKC.
I'm going to take the... Ooh, this is an interesting one. This is either which one's going to win or lose more? Probably lose more. I think that I'm going to take the losses. You took the Thunder, right?
Yep.
I'm going to take the losses on the Wizards.
On the Wizards? I was going to take the losses on the Wizards. Love it.
I just have a feeling.
They're going to be terrible. Oh, it's so bad. Okay. All right. I'll take a win for my last one. And
nice.
Boy.
Well, the Pelicans are standing there, bro.
I know.
So are the Mavs.
No, definitely not taking them.
You took the Sixers, right?
Yeah, I took the Sixers. I'm gonna. Oh, okay. I'm gonna. Oh shit.
Come on.
I'll take the wins on the Clippers.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one. I like that pick.
Yeah, I was thinking that or Minnesota, but I'll take Clips. Okay, cool. So we got our 6 each. So we'll keep track of this over the year, and then we can add them up and see.
Sick. That's awesome.
So this was our first pod. They're not all going to be this long this year, but we made it, man. We made it.
We're back. We are back. With the Backyard Basketball Podcast.
Backyard Basketball Podcast. Brought to you by the Ordinary Podcast Network. I'd like to, again, thank you so much, man, for doing this today and for taking this on think, there's a lot of exciting things to look forward to. There's a lot of just amazing narratives for each of these teams. It's going to be crazy. All right, man. We're going to do this again next week. You're going to be away, but we'll make it happen. All right. Catch you later, everybody.